first generation college student, born and raised in San Francisco, born to immigrant parents from El Salvador who were, in essence, came over from El Salvador to escape the Civil War, but also to provide me an opportunity to seek a better life and a higher level of education. As I reflect on my early experiences going through high school, I never could have even dreamed of having obtained a doctorate. At that time, I think I was experiencing many of the prototypical challenges that a lot of students of color, first-generation students encounter, which in essence, just revolved around being disengaged from my education, not seeing myself reflected in the curriculum, in the faculty and staff that I was interacting with at the high school, the wide range of social toxins that I was exposed to in my community. So again, a lot of the similar struggles that our students go through that led me to not even really considering higher education at that time. In fact, the only reason I pursued higher education was because I got recruited to play baseball in college. So I decided to give it a shot. I started at a community college. And it was there that I met a counselor that I think for the first time I really felt understood me, that I felt like she was invested in my success. And as I started realizing the impact she had on me, that's when I realized that I would have loved to have a similar impact on others. I not only wanted to be a college counselor, but to be a college counselor specifically to help change the systemic inequities. Later on, I went on to get my master's in counseling. And as I started working as a college counselor, I realized that in order for me to have an impact on systemic change, have decisions in regards to budgets and who gets hired and program development, resource allocation, that I really needed to go back and get a doctorate in educational leadership to position myself in that. And so again, still very much fueled by my desire to change the conditions that I personally experienced growing up in my community, I decided to go get my doctorate, and that's how I eventually ended up in the doctorate in educational leadership. In my first year in the program is when I got my full-time counseling faculty position. 2 years after I graduated the program, I had the opportunity to transition into administration as a director of student activities and campus life. I genuinely believe that I would not have gotten that opportunity as early as I did if it weren't for the doctorate. And once I got the opportunity to experience and gain more administrative experience, I then got the opportunity to do an interim dean of counseling position here at Skyline, and eventually, ended up getting selected as the permanent dean. In essence, what my dissertation was about was exploring the transformational experiences of a group of Latino males that were on the verge of dropping out of high school, that eventually ended up not only graduating from high school, but graduating from institutions of higher education and ultimately coming back to their communities as change agents. The way I would describe our cohort, it was diverse in the sense that there was about half of the cohort that came from communities of color, and there was another half that were predominantly white. We needed to build that safe space, that trust and community among each other to be able to really call out and help each other develop a mutual understanding of race and racism and inequities that were going to ultimately help all of us move forward as educational leaders. What the doctorate program was really help me understand the educational system from a systemic perspective. Like when I think about equity, I no longer think about equity from a program perspective as opposed to a division and institutional perspective. The combination of having to personally live through the inequities and the combination of what I learned at the doctorate program, I feel has uniquely prepared me to carry this work forward.